What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banter and Cult Flick Symposium, and I'm here to talk some more Yellowjackets. Now, in this one, you might have to bear with me a little bit, which is only fitting because you're going to have to bear with the show for a little bit because this is the last episode before we go into our 2-week break. That's right, we don't have to wait 1 week for an episode. We have to wait 2 weeks for the next episode. I guess it's the whole mid-season thing because it's 5 episodes deep. But you're going to have to bear with me because I've had a busy week in terms of having to go to the theater, everything I've had to watch this week, also stuff I've had to do over on the channel Cult Flick Symposium. If you've not checked that out yet, it's a little channel I have with Derek. Try and make it come up over there. We talk, mostly cult-like films, so that's always fun. But I watched this like 3 days ago, and I'm just now getting to record, and I like to usually watch it and then immediately jump into recording. So hopefully it does not mess with, my flow or how I normally do this thing. And other than that, guys, strap in because what a wild episode it was. All right, who shall we talk about first? Let's talk about Misty and Elijah Wood's character that I told you a million times I'm going to remember the name, and I keep fucking forgetting his name. You know who I'm talking about, though. We all know Elijah Wood. I guess maybe like Elijah Wood is so ingrained in my head as Elijah Wood. He's hit that level of fandom where it's just like I will never refer to him as his character name unless it's Frodo. It's either Frodo or Elijah Wood. That's what you get. Yeah. Everything with them, same old, basically what I have been saying. Like, there's really not a whole lot of development there. I mean, there is and there isn't, but, it's just been consistently fun, and we're waiting to get to know these characters even more as, they continue to sprout right before our lovely little eyes as they are so perfect for each other. And we did get a fallout here, but come on, man. It's going to be the classic, It's like every movie you ever watch. You get to the middle, and then the characters fight, but then they make up and get back together. Misty and Elijah Wood's character are definitely not, and I'm pissed, and that's that, and, now we're not going to talk anymore. Obviously, it's not going to happen. Elijah Wood kind of called her out, and Misty did not take too kindly to it. They were looking for Lottie's little place, looking for purple stuff, and then out of nowhere, Misty, boom. What were they playing? It's actually the name of the episode, like 2 lies and a truth, or 2 truths and a lie. And Elijah Wood came up with, he has a bunch of stock in Taco Bell he's never been, a bunch of other random shit, and they actually, I think, all ended up being true. And then Misty was saying hers, and she was like, oh my God, right there. And Elijah Wood's probably like, I'm about to wreck. And, they got there, and they saw Nat and Misty, dude. Poor Misty. She just was like, she was on rescue patrol. She was about to get Nat out of there, and Nat basically just told her to fuck off. And Misty's like, oh my God, what in the hell? And then Misty, obviously, already kind of, gears have been grinded. She's not going to take too kindly to Elijah Wood, coming across a little hasty, for her tasties. Yeah, we're going to pin that. It's a nice little rhyme-a-roo, isn't it? Yeah, so everything's still interesting there. Adult Ty and Van. We got some, I want to know exactly what happened between them. But, hey, we got a kiss, though. What was up with that? That was actually very chilling. I like that moment because, of course, we see all at the end of the episode where she stumbles into the shop, and it's like, Van? It's like, Thaisa? I think it was actually backwards. Van was like Thaisa, then Thaisa was like Van. That's neither here nor there. And Van is just, I like the thought of her just immediately willing to drop everything she's doing, which it doesn't look like she's got a lot going on. But you could tell the love and care for Thaisa after all these years is still obviously there. She is definitely ready to take on everything, including, a little fight because she's upset that Thaisa is not willing to just be like, hey, I need help. At least be fucking honest through this mess that you're in. And Thaisa has a little breakdown. But like I was saying, going back to the kiss, I think that was the best moment between them because it was creepy as fuck, dude. Just the look on Van's face, and even more so the look on Thaisa's face when Thaisa got up and kissed her, and she's just looking at her creepy as fuck with that weird glow that the contacts that the actress wears. I feel like they kind of luckily stumbled into that because from what I've heard is it wasn't even a creative decision to make her eyes reddish when she's I guess people are like, it's almost like they're more red when she's changing into this other version of Thaisa or whoever it is that's taking over Thaisa. But they're saying, from what I hear, is that it's just the contacts that the actress has to wear gives her eyes this reddish shade. So that's like something they luckily stumbled in on or upon, because that really adds to it, at least for me. It almost makes her look like she's about to go full-on werewolf. Like, I feel like she's going to start, like, go fucking crazy, and out of nowhere it's a full moon, and, trouble. But yeah, Van, just the look on her face when she's like, you're the other one, aren't you? Like that was creepy. And the way Thaisa's acting, and forget the actress's name that plays Thaisa, older Thaisa. I've been ringing and singing her praises all fucking show, because last season she was fine, not bad, but she was clearly the weak link out of all the adult characters. This season, she could be my favorite. I just love, like, now that she's, like, able to kind of, I feel like everybody had their niche thing, and she just kind of was floating along amongst the group. That's kind of what it felt like. This season, she's been able to find her niche, which is her going back to I'm going absolutely batshit fucking crazy mode, and watching her as an actress dive into that is giving her little, calling card that's just like, oh, like that's what's drawing us more into this character. The actress is killing it now. Just like Jasmine Savoy Brown, young Thaisa, who's always been one of my favorite characters. I was like, I wish older Thaisa measured up to. Now that she's got more to do and is able to go into crazy Thaisa mode, come on, killing it. As far as at the Wilderness, let's talk about the younger characters for a change. More people seem to be getting more, powers, I guess you could say. They're all sitting around in like almost like a prayer circle, and they were listening to the wind and the trees and everything like that. And, we haven't really dived fully into everything that this is going to be yet, but at the end of the episode, they even had Lottie coming out of the cabin because they were trying to figure out where young Thaisa and young Shauna were, and Misty's bestie, I forget her damn name. They were all trying to channel where that is, and even Lottie's like, let's hand this one over to you. What do you hear, Van? Calm down. What do you hear? So, like, it might not just be the Thaisa and fucking Lottie show anymore. Maybe we're starting to get new powers that come from the Wilderness spread around to more people. So that could be really interesting, but it also can be detrimental. And I'll tell you why. For me, it sounds really cool on paper, but when you dive a little deeper, is that going to kind of take away from what makes the Thaisa and Lottie character so special? Sometimes it's just like that's what makes them stand out. It's like, what is going on? It makes it more interesting. When you spread around and right now maybe just it's Van. Maybe not everybody will be able to have their own thing. But when you spread it around like crazy, it starts to lose, the power. Not the power of like, oh, my power to do this, but the power it has on the viewer of just like, wow, it's amazing. When there's a whole lot of something, we tend to not find it as special. But in saying that, though, it might be cool as shit. There's like, Van, use your hearing. Thaisa, track this down. Like, who fucking knows, right? But, like, it'll be interesting to see the more they put their foot on the pedal with that going forward. Other shit that happened out in the Wilderness. Misty, dude. I was waiting for this to come back around with all of me, more than anything. I don't know what it is. I think about this every new episode. I'm just like, when are they going to talk about Misty fucking destroying basically their whole rescue plan? The thing's blinking. That's going to lead them right to the plane crash. And Misty destroys it because for once in her life, she fits in. That's something I love. Now, don't get me wrong. I would hate it in real life, but as a character decision for her to do that, initial knee-jerk reaction, like, you bitch. And obviously in real life, you'd be like, you bitch, it's not worth it. But like as a viewer watching a show, like it just shows you the mindset and how damaged Misty was as a character of just being the outcast, that she mentally, psyche-wise, is willing to be stuck out like with no food, starvation, just so she could have friends with no hope or anything to grab onto, because that's how important friends are. And it's a bigger overarching thing that goes on in our society with bullying and shit like that. It's a beautiful message and a strange fucked up bow. You know what I mean? And that's what I loved about it. And it fits so well with her character that we've grown to love, whether it be the young Misty or the older Misty, just to show you like the lengths she'll go to if it means being accepted. And there's people definitely like this out in the world. That's actually believable to me. And do not be that stubborn or that blind. There's people out there yearning for that type of just affection and appreciation. And you might not know it because a lot of people aren't that crazy. Or you might be the person who's always in the cool group. Or maybe you're the guys like, fuck it, I don't care. But there's people that are starved for that type of attention out there. And we're just picking on them. We're treating them like shit. It's terrible what we do to kids in schools. And I really, really was interested in seeing when this finally came back around. And it did, because Misty's got a new bestie. And that scene, oh my God. Like, they're telling secrets. And, you know, they're in the middle of nowhere. You know, they are always in the middle of nowhere. But they're kind of like middle of nowhere away from the group, you know, going to dump the shit bucket. And, you know, she tells, like, a little secret, and then Misty, being a dumbass, just, like, puts, like, okay, well, you probably going to tell. Like, I smashed the box that was supposed to send help. Like, and she's like, you're the reason we're out here? Like, I'm not your friend. You're fucking crazy. And, you know, like, Misty, she proved how crazy she was. Now, she didn't directly push her off the cliff, but, I mean, she said she would kill her and backed her into a corner with nowhere to go. And that's gone. Bink. Looks over the edge. And she had the nerve to try to go down there and revive her. Really, Misty? How are you going to revive this bitch? Are you kidding me? That shit was crazy, man. Because this girl is actually seeming like she's becoming a more, you know, frontal kind of character. And, you know, you see this in a lot of shows where they'll just, you know, they'll make somebody feel like a lead so they can kill them off without having to kill an actual lead. So I get the appeal there, but at the same time, like, I was actually looking forward to Misty finally having a friend. And what do you know? Misty actually killed her. So maybe it's fuck Misty. I don't know. I can't be team fuck Misty, right? Other crazy things that happened in the wilderness. I don't know if I want to talk about that. Let's go to older Shauna real quick. Because Shauna and, of course, her daughter, Callie, I was waiting for this to happen. Of course, throws us right into it. She's talking to the fucking cop. Ugh. Already weird because she's, like, underage and all that. But it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought this was going to get more drug out, and it was going to be a whole fucking problem for episodes to come. And then she's like, I don't give a fuck, Mom. I'm talking to him. She found out almost immediately, just like, oh, shit, this is a cop. Which is kind of cool because I like being, you know, thrown off base sometimes where I'm just like, oh, damn. Like, Callie's actually a little more resourceful than I thought she was. Because she was all over this shit. She looked up his name and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, that's what's going on. And surprisingly, it has, like I said, Callie messing this up, Shauna being stupid and letting her in. She's passing with flying colors so far. She busts out a lie out of nowhere that caused Shauna to then have to go through with something that was a little awkward for Jeff. Basically, she said, yeah, my mom has been cheating and all that. And the cop's like, ooh, I got it now. And she's like, yeah, with my dad's best friend. So she had to go over to dad's best friend's house. And Jeff's not too happy about this. He's like, don't touch my fucking wife. And act like they had sex. So they do like a little stakeout. But dad's best friend fucked it up. I'm going to call him that because I forget his fucking name too. So I watch too much shit, guys. You know what I'm talking about. Dad's best friend. We'll call him DBF. Yeah. This motherfucker could not, I mean, I can understand it, man. Like, you're trying to, like, bust a nut in the other room while your best friend's girl is out on the fucking mattress out there and you don't really know what's going on or why you're doing this. You're just being asked to cooperate and you're just like, what the, like, can she hear me? Like, what in the fuck? What am I doing here? What is this? I can understand that. But he just, you know, he looks up, sees some lotion. He's like, shit, I'm going to dump this shit in there and just say, you know, I did the damn thing. But little did he know this would fuck up the whole operation because they needed that semen to be in there to make it look legit. I think Shauna was even, then again, maybe she wouldn't cover her bases. She couldn't even burn Adam's ID all the way, right? But I think she knew that they might, just on the off chance that they're like even more aggressive and want to know that they might come into the room and there need to be semen there. And it's not like she's going to go in there and just like, is that semen? Yeah, you did do it. You know, she just, hey, like, yeah, I did it. I'm good. So she's just assuming that he did it. And, you know, it seems harmless enough. But no, dude, one dude's a pain in the ass. He is really, really onto this situation. That cop is not playing games. Like, he wants, like, you can tell, like, it's not just like a, I just want to do the right thing. It's like a personal journey for him to end this fucking case. He is going to be a thorn in the side, and he's going to have to die. I don't see any other way around it. And that's going to get more and more interesting because they are on the case. He even ended it by saying that the other cop, Shauna's friends, just like, you're a made man now. That's what that means because Callie's onto you. She threw you off. And he's like, maybe she's good, but I'm better. So, like, he's on it. He's taking it as a challenge. He's into it. That's going to be interesting because he's going to be a huge thorn in the side. You can obviously already tell that. Adult Nat with Lottie, more of the crazy shit at the compound, which we're kind of really seeing that maybe the compound isn't, like I said last week, isn't so bad after all. Yeah, there's a lot of secrets still. There's a lot of shit going on. But mainly all I want to talk about that is, like, the ending where Lottie and Natalie are in that room and they're having, like, a little moment where they're venting and she's, like, meditating and she just loses it. She starts remembering things. She even, like, flashes back to when she was a younger Natalie, when she goes to lay in Lottie's lap, and we get a lot really fast right there. Really, what I'm going to double back around to with Shauna when she was younger in the wilderness, but we get a whole lot here because I don't even know where to begin, man. It's really, it makes you wonder, like, what the fuck is Natalie talking about? Like, I have so many questions, and the fact that we got to wait an extra week is just killing me already, because what is she talking about? There's a lot of people saying, are they going full on Lost here? Because Natalie's saying we didn't make it. And then she's out of nowhere. We've been trying to figure out who the Antler Queen is, all this different shit. Somebody comes onto the plane and she's like, we weren't the only ones. There's even like a quick flash that happens for a quick second. And you see Natalie with all black eyes. Like, no, it's just all black pupil. And she's got like a hood like thing on. So like, she's flashing back to that. It's like a quick still. I paused it. So it was like, pause it real fast. Like you go pause. Oh, there it is. Because it flashes, but it's literally her with like all black eyes. And it's like, oh shit, what the fuck does that mean? And then of course, Lottie's starting to freak out and she turns around, and when she turns her head, there's a shadow of like the Antler Queen. Now for me, I'm just like, so she was the Antler Queen because she's turning and she can see a shadow of Antler Queen. Is that confirming Lottie's Antler Queen? Or are these new people, like almost again, like if you're a big fan of Lost, are these like the others of this show? And did they die? Like, no spoiler alert for Lost, but there's something kind of like that going on. Like, what is happening here? Again, this show with so many fucking questions. God damn it. What happened? What is going on? And then, of course, back at the wilderness, we got, young Shauna. Like, they're about to get lost in the storm with young Thaisa, and, they make it back. And, of course, Misty makes it back and lies about her best. Like, she got lost in the storm. And what's funny is the bestie or whatever, because Misty at that one point when she said she destroyed the tracking device so they could get rescued, she's like, oh, you should have seen your face. And the girl's like, you're not such a good actor, Misty. And then Misty, everything happened later with that. Again, one girl went over the cliff. But Misty had to come back and give a performance. Like, I lost her in the woods. And everybody bought that. When everybody went outside, Misty almost smiled. It's almost like she took sauce and just like, ha, bitch, like, not a good performer. Why does everybody believe me that you're actually lost and I didn't kill you then? Like, I almost got a vibe like that. But it almost cracked me up because she started screaming for her bestie while everybody's screaming for Thaisa and Shauna. She's like, oh, yeah, like, let me join in. Like, oh, where are you? Even though she knows she's dead. I don't know why that cracked me up, but it kind of did. And then Thaisa and Shauna rush in, and you're looking at her like, oh, shit. What is going on? Like, is she in labor? Like, you're like, man. And you already kind of expected that. She was like screaming in the woods, but makes it a little more realistic when another girl asks the same question you're asking, because like, she's in labor. It's got to be that. But in your mind, you're just like, is she in labor? Like, it's almost like you got to ask over and over again because you're like, this is just not an ideal situation. You're caught in a snowstorm and you're in labor. A few seconds later, cuts back to the scene again. You're like, oh my, is she in labor? It's like that kind of, is she in labor? And then she gets inside and the other girl's like, is she in labor? I'm like, that's what happens. I think she's in labor. And of course, it cuts away from Shauna screaming. And we get, the great song, Mother, playing. I love the choice. Again, more great music this episode. Huge shout out to when Van was introduced again for the first time this episode. She had the 4 non-blondes going, what's going on? And I can tell you what's going on. This show is still the shit. Still killing it. Still interesting. I wonder if all those naysayers are still not on board after this episode, because this definitely built some shit up to just, I mean, that's the thing. Like, they build up a lot of stuff in this show to the point where you're just like, damn, I just don't know when those answers are going to come, or what if they never come because they don't write it properly or something, and you start to freak yourself out. But it seems like we have a whole lot of, like, but episode 6 is, like, got some shit, like, we're going to have to address that, like, right now type of stuff. So that's what's really interesting about this coming episode, because it's not like you can put off her having a baby. Like, that's coming. The baby's coming, and it's coming next episode. We're going to see the baby be born, and maybe some conversation like, what are we doing with this? We want to eat it? Like, who knows? We're going to fucking eat the baby? We've had all these random questions. What happens to Shada's baby? Who is Shada's baby? Did he make it? It's a he. Lottie keeps calling it a he. What is going on? What does she know? We're going to get at least something, you know, like one of those burning questions we've had for sure next episode, because that baby is about to come into the world, and we're about to, you know, Yellow Jacket fans, what the fuck are they going to do? It's time to move at least to that next phase, and we'll see those other burning questions that this episode raised for us. Is that going to immediately pop off too? Because I've heard episode 6 is supposed to be crazy, and we got to wait next week. Rats. Okay, guys. Yellowjackets, still killing it, still dope. Y'all are still killing it. Y'all are still dope. Love you guys. Damn it. More Yellowjackets on the way. Sorry this one took like an extra day to come out with. Again, like I said, been busy. I haven't thought about, once I missed like the Sunday, you know, I wanted to release on Sunday. I was like, maybe I should just wait till next week, because then like everybody's so starved for Yellowjackets. It can be like a late video, like, oh, well, it is an extra video, because we're not going to have a video next week. There's nothing to talk about. Unless I did like some theory type video. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Love you guys. Peace.